Yo everybody, my name is Lampy Moth, and today I'm going to teach you how to rig a mouth from start to finish. The mouth open, like the smile and the frown and the talking and all of that stuff, we're going to teach you how to do all of that. So without further ado, let's begin. Now, the first thing you're going to want to notice is that the lips are blue. Why are the lips blue? Well, because there's a nifty little trick with that. I'm going to show you exactly what that's all about. Because under normal circumstances, the upper lip and the lower lip, you would normally have it be the same color tone as the rest of the face. But let's say you have a design where the color scheme is cut in half, like one side gray, one side purple, or it's a character with a texturized face or anything along those lines. This will make it much easier by just having the upper lip and lower lip patterns not matter in the slightest. You'll get exactly perfect blending this way. So what we need to do is that you need the upper lip and you need the lower lip. Select those two, and then you're going to go to your inspector tab over here, go all the way down till you find opacity, and from there you put the opacity to 0. Now you're also probably already noticing, since you put the opacity to 0, the inside of the mouth is visible. The teeth, the tongue, all of that is visible. And you don't want that when it comes to Live2D. And that is completely understandable. That is very, very true. So what do? We select everything that's supposed to be hidden behind the lips. Then we go back to our inspector over here. And then we find clipping ID. We go to these 3 dots over here. We click on that. And then we find where the 2 lips are. The upper lip and the lower lip. Select those ones. And now we have ourselves a clipping mask. However, that didn't change anything, you're probably thinking. If anything, it did the opposite thing. If we took the upper lip right now, and we moved it up, then the inside of the mouth is gone. And that's the exact opposite of what we wanted. So, this didn't help at all, you're probably thinking. That's where I'm going to show you exactly one quick and simple solution for all of that. You see the clipping ID right there? If you look below it, you'll see something that says inverted mask. You click on that inverted mask. Boom. Everything is invisible, and the only time it will be visible again is when it is removed from the outside of the lips. So if the clipping mask means that everything is contained within those layers or those shapes, the inverted would be the exact opposite. So now it is visible everywhere else except within those shapes. All right, now that we got all of that out of the way, we can actually do the actual mouth movements and stuff. So we need to make sure that we have our parameter tab. That's the thing with the dials. We need to find mouth form and mouth open. Mouth form is for us to make the smile and the frowns, and mouth open, well, self-explanatory. Now for this part, we need to select mouth top line and the upper lip. We got to take our cursor, drag it all the way to the top until we get to that little dot with the curved line across it. We click on that. As you can see, it says deform path. We click on that thing. And we click one dot just a little bit outside of the lip layer itself. Click, like so. Then you click at the corner of that mouth. One more here, one down in the center. And then you repeat the process on the other side. So one more over here, one more at the edge, and then one more just a little bit outside of that. Okay, so another thing. When you're working on this, if you're trying to keep just a line and not a circle, what you're going to want to do, when you get to one of the ends here, do not click on the opposite end. That's just going to make a circle. Click on one before it, then click on the last one. Then you can adjust it just fine without it making the full circle. Now that we got that for the top line, when we use our little arrow key over here, we'll be able to move the lip up and down, all of that good stuff, and everything will adjust accordingly. We do the same thing for the bottom lip as well. Select the bottom lip line, the bottom lip shape, go back to this dot up here with the curved line, click on that, and do like before. Now that we got those set up, we can actually start selecting these and start working on the mouth form. So take all 4 of these lines, then go to mouth form in the parameter page. That's the one with the 3 dots, and select 3 green. For that, we move it to the right. For the right side, that's going to be the big grin. The left side's going to be the big frown. So let's move it to the right side. Select the arrow up here. Now, let's go to the bottom half of the lip. Find that part. Do the exact same thing over here. We got the mouth smile. Now, we move the mouth form dial from the right to the left, and then we repeat the process all over again. And so there we go. We got the frown, we got the smile. So now that we got the mouth form set up, the next step we got to do is make the mouth open movements. So we need to select 5 of the mouth parts, the upper and lower lip layers, as well as the lip shadow. And then we're going to go to our parameter that says mouth open, one with little dial. And instead of putting 3 dots this time, we're actually just going to put 2 dots for this one. And from this point, we're going to find a part for the mouth buffer. We're going to try to follow a certain set of steps for this one that I've actually found online, because it makes it a whole lot easier to find out where all the deformers are. I'll show the chart that I'm using for this one, as well as the link to the video of where I found that chart, in case this doesn't explain well enough. Alright then. So what we need to do is move this one to 6. We're going to drop that button right there. Boom. And that should be good. Let's start with mouth open. And this part is going to take a bit of time, because we got to make the mouth shape for a good number of factors. You'll see what I mean when you see the chart. Follow the chart, follow the image to find out like what sort of mouth shapes we're aiming for, and just roll with it from there. So, without further ado, it's very similar to what we did with the mouth forms. You just basically got to make a roundish out, somewhat happy face based off of the design of your character. Like, how you would like them to have that shape for a moderately open mouth. Alright, so we got the mouth open, and I think this one's fairly reasonable. However, as you can see, it's a little cursed. So, how do we fix that cursism that we got going on right there? It's very, very simple. We basically need to make a deformer for all of those parts. So, first part is going to be teeth top, then we go with teeth bottom. Then we call this one inside, and then we call this last one tongue. What we got to do is take all of these parts, all of these deformers that we just made, all the green boxes, and set them up in the mouth open parameter. So we could go to mouth inside, move 1 step to the right, move 1 step to the left. Let's take this whole part and just pull this part down. There we go. Much better. But as you can see, we have this weird outline going on. It's looking a little off. It's a little uncomfortable. So what can we do to fix that? That part will be no problem. We actually just have to go to our lip shape over here. Not so much the lip line. The line is fine, but we got to go to the shape itself. What we got to do is just pull in the edges and hide them behind the lip shape. Now for the part with the teeth. What we need to do, since we already set that up, we just go for teeth bottom. Just pull that part downward, like so. And you're probably already noticing the lip shadow. That is fine. Well, we're going to pull that further down as well, but we're going to move the teeth down here. The top row teeth shouldn't really move that much, considering the fact that it should be more so that the mouth moves down, like the jaw moves down, not so much that the top row move up. So we're actually going to keep the top row of teeth right where they are, and we're going to use that as a line to determine how the mouth should open up. Just take these parts, just pull this down a bit. Let's pull it down a little bit more. And then we take the top line here. Just pull this part down a little bit so it's above the teeth. Just slightly above the teeth. We don't want to show the edge of the top of the teeth. We want to keep that top part a bit hidden. Alright, so we got the mouth shape. But there's still another thing that we need to do, which is take the lip shadow, move it much further down, like so. Just drag this down a little bit. There are certain times where you might want to take the mesh and manually adjust it. When you're working on the mouth shape, you're also going to want to have your mesh attached to the mouth open deformer. This way, if something seems a little off, you can manually adjust that one as well to better fit the shape of the mouth that you're looking for. Drag this all the way down, like so. Now it's looking a lot less cursed. Maybe it's showing too much teeth, I believe. Yeah, I feel like it's showing too much teeth. or at least too much at the top row. So take this entire section, drag all of this down. Right there should be good. Just showing a little bit of the fangs, that should be all right. I'm trying to figure this out. Well, that's part of the process. Adjusting this until it fits the criteria that you're trying to get. Once you find that shape that you specifically are looking for, that is when you can move on to the next step. Let's see what we got. All right, much better. Okay, so we got the first half done. There is one other thing that we got to do now, is work on the jaw. That is why we made this deformer right here. Head base top for this specific reason. We're going to go to our inspector tool over here. We're going to go to our number of divisions, just to be safe with it. We're going to adjust this to at least 8 by 8. Simply for the fact that that'll give us more of these little dots to work with, just in case we need them. And for this division here, Bezier division, we're going to go to this one. We're going to try to adjust this to 8 as well. Make it 8 by 8 on all directions. Just to give us a lot of options to adjust all of this if we really, really need it. So now that we got our head base talk as a deformer down here, we're going to add that to the mouth open parameter. We're going to click on the 2 dots. And now we're going to move to this part. And then we're going to select the jaw, as many parts of the jaw as we possibly can. Now we're going to pull this part down. So, when it closes, boom, open. Then we go back to the lip shadow and drag this part down again. So now the jaw actually moves along with the mouth shape. All right, so now that we got the mouth shape open set up, what we need to do is just right click on this, and you'll see that a little tab pops up on the right that says select. We're going to select all of that. So it selects every part from the mouth open parameter here. And then we're going to go to mouth form, and we're going to click on the 3 green dots over there. So now all of these parts should be linked up to both the mouth form and the mouth open. The reason why we do that is because we're going to need to set up a mouth shape for all 15 of these little dots. Now, we already set up the shape for the standard one for the middle part, just the regular face, and we already have it set up for when it opens. But now we got to set up for when it smiles, because as you can see, it's a little cursed over there, and when it frowns, the exact same problem. We have to adjust the mouth parts based off of those other 2 mouth forms there. So we got to get started on that. Actually, I forgot one other thing that needs to be done. We actually have to go to mouth form as well, and we need to set up something for .-5. So let's go over there. .-5, and for .2. For all 25 of these dots, we have to set up a proper mouth shape for that. So this is going to be a while. Okay, so there is one other thing that I'm looking at here that I think needs to be sorted out first, and I wanted to address this one in the video. So until we get the mouth open for all 5 parts on the mouth form, I'm going to be deleting part 6 and part 2 of the mouth open parameter. Oh, we're also going to get rid of part 5 as well. So we're only going to keep the far end of mouth open and the far right of mouth open until we adjust everything for the mouth form parameter. Okay, we're going to continue now. And with that, we got the entire mouth rig done. Thank you all for watching. Join us next time when we work on the body rig next. We're going to be working on the upper body, the lower body, and the arms. Why are the arms as a separate video? You'll see when we get there.